What is up, YouTube? HPJ here, and I'm coming at you guys today because we're going to be taking a look, a brand new monster that has been unveiled fully here in the from the OCG. Before I get into this monster, and of course get into the rest of the video, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And of course, hit that notification bell so you guys can be informed of when I do upload more content. In addition to that, in the description box below are social media links so you guys can be interact with me there via social media. There's Patreon. There's a whole bunch of things too if you guys are interested in helping supporting the channel. So, first of rare occasion, when I actually mention my Patreon. Yeah, because it is a thing. Anyway, let's talk about the new monster. So, this is, and I'm gonna butcher her name or its name, so I do apologize. This is Nowrus Elise or Elise. This is Nowrus Elise. This is the new monster that has been unveiled in the V jump that is soon to come out. So, Nowrus Elise, the Dragon of Beauty and Faith. This is a level 7 wind attribute dragon type monster, 2000 attack, 2500 defense. You can only use this card's first and second effect once per turn each. If this card is in your graveyard, you can send one level 5 or higher one level 5 or higher monster from your hand to the graveyard to summon this card, but it is banished when it leaves the field. If this card is destroyed by battle or is destroyed by an opponent's card effect while in its owner's possession, you can target one card your opponent controls and banish it. So, it's a pretty generic style of monster if you associate it with its effects. Basic stats for a level 7, something that's also dragon if you think about it. So it has its upsides. In terms of its downsides, this is a level 7 or higher monster. It has a requirement to social summon itself, but it has to be in the graveyard for that to happen. In addition, it has a really stellar removal effect. However, that removal effect is a effect that targets, so it is a double-edged sword. There are a lot of things about this card looking at it that it's a beautiful looking card. It has a really standard effect for both its own special summoning requirements as well as its requirements of removing cards. The problem with this card is that they tried to hype this card up. It even says it right here. It does indeed work in many decks. Not every deck, just many. By many, it specifically means any deck that runs dragons, any deck that has any level 5 or higher monsters, are ways to send cards to the graveyard with ease. And then on top of that, it has a okay removal effect. Why do I say okay? Well, because most cards have the ability to not be targeted. Some cards still work well when they're banished. And the overall consensus of this card is that it still has to be destroyed by your opponent's card effect or by battle. So, yeah, this card is, I'm sorry, it's very meh. Now, in terms of it being meh, there is some potential because of the fact that it is a wind dragon. So you can splash this into some decks like Arm Dragon. You can fit this into Dragon Link. You can fit this into Dragon Maid. A variation of a deck that can of decks that can take Dragon to a new level. You could try to fit this into some decks that do some tribute summon. However, I wouldn't service it unless you had a way to send it to the grave. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, what other options could you use in conjunction with this card? I'm sure some people have probably mentioned it, but we can address her, Winnie the Wind Channeler. Because Winnie's ability to send herself and another wind monster to the grave to add a wind monster with 15 or less defense from your deck to your hand could help. The problem is that Winnie's going to lock you into wind, and most extra decks are kind of scarce when it comes to wind summoning. Now, that is a good way to flush it out into the grave within your standard Foolish Burial. Um, you use Dragon Shrine because it is still a dragon, so you can at least do that. Like send a normal dragon to the grave, then dump it in a response. Because you can technically use that with Blue Eyes in too. Because if you draw a dead Blue Eyes, which most of the time most of the time when you draw a Blue Eyes White Dragon and a Blue Eyes White Dragon, that it's never going to be dead. I'm just going to point that out now. That or Red Eyes, because you'll find ways to abuse those cards, even with their normal monsters as bricks. Um, Besides that, yeah, winning would be a great option. Winning locks you into win. So if you're predominantly using a wind attributed deck, that's probably 9 out of 10 the only way you're going to really get some survives from her. You could put it into Dragunities because they're all dragon, and of course, we're going to speak of the dragon ruler of storms, Tempest. Tempest can search for that monster. Tempest can add it to the hand, and Tempest can even take advantage of that monster by discarding it with itself to add a dragon monster to your hand. Which also survives you'll have to run Tempest. You can run variations of decks that of course do associate themselves. Like I said, the Armed Dragons. You can use Dragon Maid, you can use Dragon Link. I don't exactly know how Dragon Maid would work with this, but I think it has something to do with the level indications of how the monsters work. But someone can correct me about that in the comment section. Now, as far as this goes in Harpies, we don't have a Harpie monster that can summon this. It could conjecturally work with Channeler because she is a level 5 or higher. She'll become level 7 if you control a dragon type monster. You would have to advise to try to run Winnie or Tempest, even though I would not advise to do either, because that's a deck that at this point is going into its whole, we're going to use, Beast family support thanks to Tri Brigade. Now, if you wanted to run it pure, I guess you use it when you have dead draws, like Harpie's Pet, because that's literally in Harpie Lady Sisters. Then I think at that point, because of how advanced most of those builds are, they probably would not technically need this. But I'm still on the fence of no, I wouldn't use this. Personally, I wouldn't. I wouldn't suggest it in Harpies, but I would suggest it for stuff that can survive for dragon monsters and speed up the process. Maybe in a splice version, like maybe dragons and harpies, like Dragonity and Harpie could work it. But you also have to account to that too. How many cards are you willing to give up to fit this card into the deck to where the deck can survive this as some type of utility? Because even then, what was it? Miradora, the Heavenly Zephyr? I don't think anybody was using that card. Great artwork, decent effect, a lot of requirements to get it going. I actually wouldn't be surprised if people are waiting for the Dragoonity support to see how good that card is going to be, because I think Dragoonities will probably be the deciding factor for that, because I know most Harpy players have said they are not using it. It is potentially a good card, but it's just not worth having to do the extra mile to get into. So, yeah, I've looked at this card. I've said my piece. So, let me know in the comment section what you guys think of the Dragon of Beauty and Faith. Do you think you'll be using Elise? Do you think you'll find a way to play with Elise? I think there are probably some more combinations, but let's be honest. This deck, literally, this monster is going to have to ride itself with the coattail of Dragoonity or Dragon Link in order for it to be relevant. I'm sorry, it's just how it's gonna have to look. But let me know what you guys think of this card. Let me know what you guys would survive with it. Do you have anything you'd like to add to it? Is there anything you would like to see traverse with this? But yeah, that's what the comment section is for. So thanks everybody for watching, and I will of course catch you all next time. HBJ signing out. Take care.